well, she's on TV and she looks like that. Like, that's really awesome for me.
I feel like it's part of the reason people really laud Degrassi even to this day, because the kids going through what they're going through were actually teenagers when they shot the show.
Yeah.
Aside from that, between the fun sex, the drinking, and me being sick, I've also been watching a lot of Pretty Little Liars. And I wanted to talk about this because I also feel like we've talked about Euphoria and how that's, though a good show, is not really an accurate representation of high school students.
No.
And I was looking at it because the first season of Pretty Little Liars, which came out like years ago at this point,
Yeah.
we see Arya and Ezra, who were like my ship couple. Did you ever watch the show?
No.
Okay.
But I'm following.
Yeah, so for any, I can't believe you never watched it.
Shrug.
Okay, well, for anyone who's like Arielle who hasn't seen the show, four high school girls are being tormented by what they think is the ghost of their best friend.
Right.
They get like blackmailed and shit.
A.
You know.
My friends.
Arya, who is my favorite because she was like short and moody and really into English. I'm a narcissist, so I like people who remind me of me.
Yeah. That's what TV's for. See yourself.
She dates Ezra, who is like a 26-year-old teacher at the school. And I was so into it when I was a kid because
of course
it's like framed to you as like the main relationship of the show. They like want you to ship this couple. And part of me when I was watching it, I was like, part of the reason this doesn't look really weird is because when they cast people for these roles, they cast adults as teenagers in TV shows. And I saw a couple of different articles because I was like, why is this? Like, why do they do this?
Yeah.
The reason casting people do it is because they don't have to work around child labor laws. If they hire like 20-year-old people as opposed to people who are under the age of 18, then there are restrictions and they need to have adults on set for all of the like parents on set.
Yeah. No parents allowed.
Yeah. This is an adults only club. And I saw a couple of articles that talked about how that can mess with teenagers' sense of like body identity. But what I haven't seen and what I really want to know more about is how that affects the way that we as adult consumers take in teenage sexual relationships on screen. Because part of the reason I don't think there were any red flags when I saw Arya and Ezra is because they look so similar in age.
Right.
Or like when you look at the kids of Euphoria having really intense sex, they don't look like 17-year-olds.
No.
They look like 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't feel gross and weird for me to be consuming that and feeling like sexualizing high schoolers is normal. And I don't know where, like, I don't have like any grand revelation from this, but it really blew my mind. And I'm wondering, like, do we have a bigger social responsibility to be like, actually teens are kind of gross and young looking and maybe we shouldn't be like hypersexualizing them with 27-year-olds.
Well, yeah, I think that's a great point, dude. And I feel maybe I recently heard someone talking about this, that like, the pedophiles are...
The pedophiles are enabled by CW shows.
Or that they're not like literally child pedophiles, but a Crystalia, for example.
Or like a Leonardo DiCaprio, who famously likes to date really young women. He tweeted his support of Euphoria being like, I love Euphoria. And it's like, fucking of course you do. You love 20-year-old women.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that's like older guys like younger women. It's like a subservient thing, power, whatever. But then when you're going into minors, I think that media does play a big role. Media plays a role in how we interact with each other in any social dynamic setting, because when you have teens who like the body image stuff, when you're seeing that and it's like, okay, well, I don't look like that.
Yeah.
But now when we're seeing, Ugly Betty, I feel like she was a huge, that was representation for people who looked like America Ferrera at that time. And it was like really dope. And you see her going through the struggles and you're like, well, she's on TV and she looks like that. Like, that's really awesome for me.
I feel like it's part of the reason people really laud Degrassi even to this day, because the kids going through what they're going through were actually teenagers when they shot the show.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, like it's...
Even though they were going through adult situations, they were still actually kids.
Well, and they were going through teenage situations.
Oh.
Getting, like...
I didn't watch that show either.
Degrassi is like very much like teenagers going through teenager shit.
Okay.
And it's not as like glamorized as Euphoria because it's not 27-year-olds playing 16-year-olds, you know, like things look sexier when you're an adult,
Yeah.
you know, and like to see, you know, like let's use the Sprouse twins as an example, who genuinely were in high school and playing high schoolers when they were on Disney Channel. It's now a decade later and they're still playing high schoolers.
Right, Riverdale.
Riverdale.
Yeah.
You're not a high school, like, you're a bunch of people who honestly could be parents.
And you know what? You're taking work away from young people.
The true representation we need to see on television is like 12-year-olds. Where are they? 12 to 17-year-olds.
The pedophiles will be very excited about that, and that is another problem in itself.
Oh, they can just go to mommy bloggers.
Rachel. Okay, well, we probably talked about this for a little bit.
We're gonna bookmark this. I have a big rant that I'll go on at some point about my disdain for mommy bloggers. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about it.
I think that's a great point, dude, and I feel Mean Girls, the movie, like those were all.
Rachel McAdams was 27 when she played
Yeah.
Regina George.
Yeah.
27.
It's not fair to do that to us.
All of the Gossip Girl cast was in their 20s.
That was beyond.
They were like elderly.
Although I do think that